Hi guys, my name is Anna Maria and you're all very welcome to my channel. Here I talk about life abroad and about education. And today I wanted to talk about 10 lessons learned and 10 conclusions made from the 2020 global crisis. And those are things that I'm gonna change about myself. I'm gonna focus more attention towards those things to make sure that we will survive the next global crisis. I think it's really easy to survive this crisis if you have mommy and daddy looking after you and paying for you and thinking about your financial situation, and not only your financial situation. But if you have to do everything on your own, this video is gonna be really helpful because this is something I've been thinking about during the past few weeks, and I'm sure that those things are gonna be very useful for us in future. Point number one is always expect and accept changes. It's very important to always know that there will be changes, that the world has been changing very fast, especially now, and it's really important to make sure that we do adapt to the new situations. And those people who moved abroad, they know how important it is to adapt to new situations, to new people, to a new environment, to make sure that you can survive in that situation and you can get the most out of that situation. So I've learned to always expect changes and adapt to those changes, and think about changes as about something useful, about something that's gonna improve my life and make it much better. The next point is relationships. It's the right time to think about our partners, for example. Like, is it the right partner I'm living with? Am I happy in this relationship? Think about your friends and family. Like, do you spend enough time with your family and friends, or do you need to spend more or less time with your family, with your friends? Maybe you want to have more friends, maybe you want to know more people, maybe you want to improve your network. There are so many things to ask yourself and to think what you can do in order to improve that situation, because family, friends, or relationships really matter for a high quality life. That's why it's time to think about it, as long as we're not too busy. The next point is review your values, and it's not only me saying this, it's also loads of psychologists saying about it. It's time to review our values, it's time to review the way we live and to ask ourselves some very important questions. Am I doing the right job? Is it the right place I'm living in? Is it the right person I'm living with? What was I missing in life? What should I do differently in life? What should I change about myself? What new things and skills I should learn? To understand what steps we need to take in order to improve the quality of our lives, in order to understand, are we following the right values, or should we make some changes again to have a better life. Point number 4 is be a very highly skilled person, be an expert, and it's time to start exchanging not our time for money, but it's the time to start exchanging our skills for money. I will tell you a story about my previous job. So I used to work in Burger King. I didn't like the job, it was terrible, but I used to work there and there were a few adult women. They were about 30, 35, and they have been working in Burger King for 10 or more years. So can you imagine, they worked at the same place, they did not progress, they stayed in the same kitchen, and they used to do those burgers for 10 years. So they didn't learn new skills, they didn't improve themselves, they didn't progress. So in my opinion, it was a terrible regression. So instead of learning new things, instead of developing themselves, instead of trying to achieve more things, they stayed in that place. And the reason they stayed in that place is because they thought that Burger King is the only place in the world that can give them stability to look after their children. But this is so wrong. And imagine those women right now, like, they have no proper skills. They know how to make a burger and they know a few things about the way Burger King works, but they have no proper skills. I would not like to be in their situation, to be in their shoes, because I'm sure that they're facing terrible times right now. So let's start developing ourselves and let's start to learn new skills and to be specialists and to try to improve ourselves more and more. It's so important right now, and you can see why it is important. Point number 5 is have an emergency fund or financial cushion. I started to create my financial cushion just because I've heard that a blogger said that it's important to have it, and now I'm really happy that I started to do it because I feel so much better. I don't have too much stress. I know that if something happens and I lose my job or I'll have less money, I will be fine because I have an emergency fund that's gonna save me in that situation. And I think it's important to have an emergency fund that will let you live a normal life for 6 months. So let's say if you spend 1,000 euro per month, then you should have 6,000 euro in a separate account that you'll use in case you lose a job, in case you don't have a normal income, in order to keep having a normal life. I think that young people don't really understand how important it is, and to be honest, I did not know why having an emergency fund is important, but it can really save your nerves, it can really save your mental health. Once you know that you have enough money, once you know that everything is okay, you'll be able to live a normal life, you'll be able to pay your bills and rent. So it's really, really important, and again, now we can see why it is important. The next one is you must be online, otherwise you do not exist. And I know that there are people who are not happy to share their personal information and they don't want to be online, and it's okay. But if you want to have many opportunities and many possibilities, like finding a job, finding friends, communicating to your relatives, being closer to them if you're abroad, maybe finding yourself a partner, then it's important to be online. Number 7 is technology. And it's very important to make sure that we learn and we adapt to the new technology. And I've heard people saying that I don't like computers, that's why I'm not gonna touch them, I'm not gonna learn anything about computers, I don't need it. Now, you can't use that phrase anymore. We have to learn to use computers properly. We have to invest time, effort, energy, money to know how to use the technology, because technology is the future. Just imagine those people who just don't know how to use technology, they just don't know how to send a simple email. I'm sure that you know how difficult it is to communicate with them. It's draining our energy so much when you're trying to explain to a person how to send an email and they make such a big deal out of this thing. And it's getting so difficult, and you just hate that person, you want them to just learn how to send an email. So let's not be those people. Let's learn, let's try to improve ourselves, and let's try to be better and know as much as possible about technology. Point number 8 is constant learning and development. I'm not gonna say too much about it. I'm just sure that we are all learning new skills permanently and we're developing ourselves all the time. Point number 9 is have 2 or more sources of income. It's very, very important, because now we can see the lack of stability from our stable jobs, and it's very important to make sure that we have another source of income, that you feel comfortable living your normal life, feeding your children, feeding yourself, making sure you can pay your rent. So it's really crucial to make sure we try to create at least a second source of income, and then once we have 2 sources of income, we can start diversifying it and creating a third source of income. So it's like really important to invest our time, money and effort into creating those sources of income. Number 10 is financial planning, and we can talk to a financial advisor, but if you don't want to spend too much money on a financial advisor, it's absolutely fine. We can watch loads of videos on YouTube and we can create our own financial plan, and we can tailor it according to our needs, according to what we want to do, because you can see how important it is to make sure that you properly invest your money, you properly save your money, and you properly spend your money. Cool guys, these were the 10 things that I wanted to talk about, the 10 lessons learned, the 10 conclusions that I made from this financial crisis. I'm sure that this financial crisis is gonna get a bit worse very soon after the quarantine. It can be mild, but it can be a strong financial crisis. We do not know, but we always have to be prepared just to make sure that we avoid any stress. Let me know if there are some more things that you've learned from this global situation. I'm curious to know what your opinion is. And also, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you give this video a like, you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in my next video.